Yeah, what's up everybody, and welcome to another video. So yes, as you will see by on my second screen, I have Jay and ESC Tom up. Now I will obviously, you can probably tell what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk about Eurovision and the results last night. So I will actually go through some of the results in the both semi-finals, talk about my Gobsmacked look when I looked at the detailed results, and then say what the fuck a lot. Now there's actually a lot of positive surprises here, and I very much appreciate so many of them, to the point where I just wonder, what did Europe saw that us fans didn't? I was like, what the fuck, for so many of them. Okay, so to kick things off, Moldova qualified comfortable, not really that surprising. As a matter of fact, they got 146 points from the public, 10th place from the juries, 208 points overall. We have to sadly say that Israel won the televote, not as much as previous year. They took 106 points with the juries, 269. Now the first headline that is really going to shock me is Poland. Do you want to know why? Because Poland took 110 points from the televote. They took 137 from the juries. They won their semi-final. Who the fuck expect that to happen? 247 points from the public, 247 points overall. Now that is an extremely big and shocking surprise. Finland, 5th place, 100 points. They took 2nd place in the semi-final, 127. Now I will actually say this: they did gain 4 lower points in the semi than I expected. Now I have a theory as to what. And that is how, and that is how in the performance I watched with my brother, and he said, and I said as well, that the performance itself was kind of flat because of the fact that Peter just sat there on his stage prop, just with the headset for plenty of time in the performance, which to myself sort of made me realize that, okay, maybe it's not as epic as they want to present it as. He had a headset microphone. Now obviously the gimmick with this was the violin, and Linda Lambins played it perfectly. She was a badass, but I definitely don't think that it was going to. I mean, I wanted to hope. I wanted it to I wanted a victory so bad. Now it didn't happen again. 147 points from the public. So yeah, kind of a disappointment. But at the same time, you know, you can't have everything. All right. So the winner was Israel, Moldova 2nd, Serbia 3rd, Poland 4th, Finland 5th, Croatia 9th, 6th, Greece 7th, Lithuania 8th, Estonia 46th, and the big disappointment is that Montenegro would qualify with the televote. 45 points, really sad for them. Now the thing is, the thing is, the juries actually did agree. Poland, Finland, Israel, Greece, Croatia, Belgium, Sweden, Moldova, Serbia, and Lithuania. These were the top 10 qualifying countries, whereas the rest sadly did suffer. Now, surprisingly enough, Estonia would qualify with the televote, but they got 33 points from the juries, 79 points overall, not bad. Portugal got the same placement as both the juries and the televote. San Marino, 12th place. We expect them to get the last place. Now, the biggest shock to everyone in the semi-final: Sweden, my country, for 17 points with 17 points with 13th place. What? I mean, how did that even happen? She delivered great performances. I can only assume, I mean, this would be the first time that Sweden would miss the grand final with televoting only. And the thing is, I don't know if that would be satisfactory or not. It would certainly be a bit surprising, miles surprising, more than you could ever anticipate. And yeah, I mean, 17 points. We have never been getting a lower televoting result during the Asian semifinals. Seriously, Anna Berg and Dawn had over 60 points with the jury. No wait, with the televote. I think she qualified with the televote. But 17 points, even less than we got the worst place in 92, I believe. Christer Björkman, Imorgon är en annan dag. So yeah, 17 points, that is the lowest televoting score we have ever gotten in the contest. But anyway, Belgium, 10 points, 14th place in the semi. But qualified with the juries at 6th place, so congratulations to Essela. I did have her in my qualifiers, but you know, I don't necessarily think that they would ever be in contention of winning. I was satisfied with the result, and that is something that we should be proud of. But anyway, the result, those that were voted off, Estonia, Portugal, Montenegro, San Marino, Georgia. Most of these results were valid. I don't really think, well, aside from Montenegro, but I was not really a big fan of the song. I was just a fan of Montenegro as well, as hoping they would qualify. And they would with the televote. So I would simply have to say this, rest in peace to Georgia. 2 points from the televoting, 3 points from the juries. Yeah, I sincerely apologize. I sincerely say this. Bizigby, you did a good job on stage, but sadly you weren't able to charm the televote. And the thing is, the backstory of them winning Eurovision 2008, I wonder if that has something to do with it, but I just don't really know. So yeah, overall, this result was quite shocking. The biggest surprise was Poland. And yeah, of course, Lithuania will qualify with both televoting and the juries. Now, the second semifinal, that is when it becomes really, really weird. And the thing is, I would say this, there was a leaked result that was fake. In that one, Israel would gain 99 points from the public and qualify, which is like really, really strange. That would be an extremely fun result. And even the result there would even say that Armenia would gain 11th place with 122 points in the second semi. That didn't happen. Anyway, I'll show you what I mean. Anyway, so now we have one of the biggest... Okay, so the placements of qualification, they were about fair as you could get. Now the biggest headline is the fact that Norway surprised everyone. They qualified with the televote and the juries, like, smoothly. Norway, televoting, 97 points. Jury, 109. Televoting, score overall, 206. Surprisingly enough, Bulgaria, who ended up winning the contest, won the televote, yes, but then ended up placing 5th with the jury, got 278 points overall. Because the thing is, nobody really people expected Bulgaria to qualify, but we simply had a lot of... We were probably just talking about a different country, which I'll get to the point where we forgot Bulgaria. They did impress so much during the rehearsals in the grand final, and so the result was actually really, really satisfying and happy. Now, I will talk about what I thought about the placements as well as the points later, but anyway, Bulgaria, Romania, Albania, Ukraine, Norway, Australia, Denmark, Cyprus, and yeah, this is one of the biggest shocks. Now, I don't know if you actually watched Eurovision 2021, and you probably didn't watch the detailed results. Seriously, it's only us fans that watches the detailed results. And that result actually resulted in Croatia qualifying with both the juries and the televote in their first semi-final, but still didn't qualify for the grand final because of a lack of big points. Big enough points. I think Norway qualified that time. So yeah, Switzerland did Croatia, qualified with both the juries and the televote, but didn't qualify overall. Switzerland, 60 points from the televoting, 48 points from the juries, 808 points overall, which is, yeah, it's really surprising. Alright, anyway, 108 points. What does it say about the result? Well, it doesn't really say much other than it's really weird. Now, do I think it's invalid? No. The result is counted. I mean, I'm fine at math. And if you take 60 points, add 40, that's 100, and then take the 108 points. Cyprus, that was supposed to be the public favorite. Now, it gained traction early on in the season because it was a fun song, it was really supposed to be the Eastern performance, and yeah, it was. Now, her vocals were really, really bad. She gained criticism for that by a lot of people, actually. It wasn't like, you know, yeah. So yeah, she gained big points overall from both the jurors and the public. Now, Did took 8th place with the televote, 10th place with the jurors at 47, 75 points from the public. So yeah, not that really much to really be upset about. She qualified for the grand final. Now, with that being said, in my opinion, the televote should have voted Switzerland through because I didn't really like the more heavier sound. But you know, you can't have everything. Anyway, Goopery and Sadness for Czechia. We expected this to happen. They took 34 points from the public with 12th place. Took 108 points from the public. So yeah, it was not much of a reason to really say that they would qualify with the televote. And the thing is, Czechia has always been a jury country, so them being back really helped them. 142 points wasn't really that comfortable. A lot of people in the bubble, myself included, said they were going to win the jury vote. But yeah, it did happen. So yeah, anyway, so the televoting favorites ended up being Bulgaria, Romania, Albania, Ukraine, Norway, Australia, Denmark, Cyprus, and Switzerland. And the result from the televote and the juries was Australia, Denmark, Norway, Czechia, Bulgaria, Romania, Malta, Ukraine, and Switzerland and Cyprus. Now, surprisingly enough, we all expected that Romania won the semi-final. Now, with that being said, they didn't win it comfortably. Denmark took 2nd place with the juries, 7th place with the televote, which is kind of surprising. Norway surprised everyone with 109 points, a comfortable 3rd place and 97 points, 206 overall. Bulgaria, this is like in the grand final in the most recent years. The winner of the televote, the winner of the show, got like 5th place, and this is true here as well. In the semi, Bulgaria got 94 points from the juries, 184 from the public. Yeah, it was the same. Congratulations to Romania. They were absolutely fantastic. Now, do I think that, yeah, I mean, when we get to the grand final result, we will actually see something really genuinely funny for them. Ukraine qualified with both the jurors and the televote, 4th place and 8th place. Albania qualified comfortably with the televote, 113, and then would miss the grand final with the juries. Congratulations. Now, I thought Armenia would qualify. I thought they would gain like enough points to qualify. They didn't. They actually gained not enough points from anywhere. 30 points as well as 19 points. The televoting, 19 points, 30 points from the juries. Really surprising there. I thought they would qualify with the televote. They gained more points from the televote. Fuck me. Anyway, Luxembourg, 11th place with the televoting, 26 points with the juries, 60 points overall. Latvia qualified the same points with the both juries and the public. Missed the grand final by a comfortable margin, 49 points. Yeah, and Azerbaijan, what the fuck are you doing? I mean, 2 points from the juries, 2 points overall, 0 points from the public. I mean, what the fuck has happened to you? I mean, this is a situation where you just have to ask the Azerbaijan delegation. Ever since they stopped cheating, they have just been off the boil. I gave absolutely nothing. Boring songs, boring representatives, hasn't been a conversation of winning. Seriously though, I actually want them to go back to the old ways. Not cheating, but just get Swedish songwriters, get Swedish dancers, get Swedish stage directors doing anything. Anyway, so I'm also going to say this. Cyprus, I actually think Cyprus they did a better singing performance than Meira Umar in Melodifestivalen, but they're still not great. So yeah, this is actually a result that I very much appreciate to see. Now, there wasn't as many surprises in this semi compared to first. That's what I'll say. And by the way, Malta, they wasn't really as high of a jury favorite as I expected them to. 59 points with the public, they would qualify with both Malta 84 points, overall 143. Alright, now we are finally by the grand final. And the biggest headline for me is the fact that Israel didn't win the televote, wouldn't win the contest overall. They would actually get worse. They would get a bigger, I think they would get a bigger, they would actually gain a wider gap of scores. I do know that a lot of people are upset that Israel is still in the contest and they gain big points, and I agree, it's upsetting they didn't deserve it. But you know, 220 points, Romania would beat them, 232, and Bulgaria would beat them as well, 312 points. Now, I will say this year I was not as disappointed with Israel's placement, because this time I was prepared. The last 2 years I was gobsmacked, I was really like worried and concerned, surprised. This time I wasn't. I expected to get a huge televote. Sadly though, they did gain enough of a jury vote to actually be in contention of winning. And if the juries actually, well, I would say place them accordingly, but you know, I haven't watched the performance, but I can only assume that it was a better performed and warm and a more jury-fitting song. So sadly, the juries did their job. They did exactly what they were going to. They rated their performance accordingly. 123. Yeah, surprising. But you know, the top 10 is actually really happy for the juries. 200, Bulgaria, Australia, Denmark, France, Finland, Italy, Poland, who gained 3 12-pointers, mind you. That was like, yeah, that was really surprisingly happy for them. Let's be real. Poland was counted out when the season started. Nobody thought, because of the fact that 4 big artists had hopped off the Polish national final, most people said that Poland would simply not really place well and that we would not really like see them qualify. They surprised us, all of us. I think they got 3 12-pointers. Congratulations there. Norway surprised everybody, at least I was surprised. They gained a 12, I think, 115 points. Czechia, I mean, look, listen, this was going to happen. Czechia was a jury country, and sadly, the performance was messed up. The camera messed up, and they weren't allowed to perform again. I do think that they should have, because I would say that would gain them more points, or at least like a couple of more, maybe like 20 or so points. They were never going to do well with the televote. Wait a second. Yeah, anyway, they would never do well with the televote. They would always struggle. And yeah, it was shown that they did. I feel kind of bad for Czechia. Now, they did qualify, and he has gained attention in the home country. So it is possible that Czechia is going to compete next year, hopefully. Now, they actually just need to get over the threshold that is the televote. They did well with Michalos Youssef in 2018, friend of a friend. No, that was Lake Malawi. I think, yeah, it was Michalos Youssef will lie to me. That got over 200 points with the televote, and that was what needs to change for Czechia. They need to find a televote success. If they can do that, as well as doing well with the jury, then we're talking about a country which people is going to be really satisfied about and really being in contention of winning. So anyway, the other result, which I'm very much surprised of, is the fact that, anyway, Serbia, they gained 52 points from the televoting, 38 from the juries, 90 points overall. That's I take that. Anyway, and then we have Croatia, 53 points. We all expect them to be a jury country, which didn't happen. They got 53 points from the juries. They gained 71 points from the public. Congratulations. Which gave them an overall score of 124. Australia disappointed. They actually gave us a non-jury victory. Yes, there were so many simulations that just took that just said that Australia would win the jury vote comfortably. They didn't even break over 150 points. 120. No, wait a second. They did really well with the jury vote, but they didn't do well enough. 165 points from the jury. 122 from the public. We all expected Australia to do worse with the televote, considering how they are one of these countries that has absolutely no diaspora. They have no free votes from any country. The UK doesn't support them. Sweden doesn't support them by default. They need to earn their place. And so, having Australia do well with the jury and then less good with the televote, yeah, I accept that. There was a big spread of points, and that's how it should be. And I very much appreciate that. This is what happens when you have the jurors and the televote in the semi-final. That is when you actually get these kinds of results. Now, a lot of people are just expecting Finland to win with a landslide. I would love that to happen, but like I said, in the performance they were like kind of flat. Peter Parkonen should just had a microphone, like not necessarily rock that on stage, but be dramatic, have a strong presence on stage, and just show that with Linda. But they were too far apart. The violin just wasn't enough. There were more hardcore action from Bulgaria, Romania, and Moldova, which were the returnees. Did really well. They got, let's see here, Bulgaria and Romania second and first, Moldova fourth, which is like really satisfactory. I do feel like that's going to be the pattern for the world with Israel, and that is how I sadly think they will stay in the contest. Real disappointing, but I do think that is what's going to be the path forward for Israel as well as the Eurovision. That is simply just to be bigger favorites than Israel, impress their audience even more. I mean, last year we didn't really have a big leader in the televote. Sure, you know, we did have Sweden, but it was more or less because of it being a novelty. This year there was like excitingly fun favorites, and that is like what it should be. Big favorites equals big points. To be honest, like, I do really feel that people are missing that the fact that in 2024 we did actually have a big favorite that won the televote in Baby Lasagna with Ring Tim Tagdim. This year we had Moldova, Bulgaria and Romania, Ukraine, Italy. They were the kind of countries that would like have a chance of taking down Israel's televoting score to a point where we would actually have a far more fun result. Okay, so Norway got 19 points by the televote and 15 from the jury. Overall, 14th place with 134 points. Now we have to sadly talk about the headline of all of this, and this is like one of the biggest shocks in Eurovision history for me, or at least this evening, and that is Sweden doing awfully with the jury vote. And the televote, 16 points at 17th place, and then there's the jury vote. 35 points overall, which in my opinion was just a really big shock. I mean, Sweden had done fine during all performances, off screen and on screen, and so I guess because of the fact that she passed out after one of the jury shows due to a lack of hydration, maybe that is like an indication that she wasn't really going to do well. 20th place, that is the worst result since 2009 when Malena Anneman in the grand final gave us like 21 points or whatever. So yeah, Sweden, really big disappointment. Now, maybe she wasn't ready for Eurovision like we thought. Sure, she did well in Mello, but let's be real, song-wise, what else did we have? Well, if I'm being honest, I do feel like we could have sent Gresula, 18s, or Brandstad. They would probably be a bit more ready on stage, they would probably go all in, and so they will probably get a bigger televote. But most of us expected Sweden to get like over 100 points in both, or at least, yeah, over 100 points. Now we didn't, we got 20th place overall, and this is like, I do really feel like now Sweden, hopefully, doesn't like lose and say, we can never send something experimental, something different. We have to like send clean pop entries in English. We cannot really send much. Now, a theory that has been going around as to why it went so poorly for us is the fact that Felicia wore a mask all the time, and there is a wore something that covered her face, and I do really feel like maybe she should have ripped off her mask at some point, actually to be a talking point. But you know, based on what I know, she has been less confident than others. she basically just didn't really had the strength to do so. And so I think most of us have to agree that, yeah, she was more or less going to have an uphill battle, because people don't know about Fröken Snusk, and only the ones that actually like Felicia are the ones that actually likes Fröken Snusk, who actually liked the story, but you know, it didn't really come through. Now, I think she gained the first point by country 12. The first 11 just didn't really give her anything for free. And anyway, so yeah, it's a generally big disappointment. Now, I think she did well. I don't really think that she failed, but you know, she didn't really do well enough. Anyway, so she gained 2 10s from Denmark, and the other 10 came from Italy, and then she got 6 points, and that was from Croatia. So yeah, so I will just show you. Germany gave her 1 point, 4 points from Montenegro, and guess what? No points from Finland. How did that even happen? We were supposed to get points from Finland, at least from the Nordics, but none of them actually supported us. That is like a really big shock. Anyway, so I will actually take a look at what point what the Nordics gave to other countries, and they gained, let's see here. Okay, let's see here. Malta, Portugal, Sweden, Albania. Okay, Denmark gave its 12 points to Bulgaria. Norway, 3 points, but they gained 10 points to Denmark. Congratulations there. Finland, 10 points to Denmark. 12 points to France. Really weird. And yeah, that was pretty much it. Now, I will sadly talk about Israel a little bit. Now, they weren't like, they did better this year compared to last year. But you know, I will actually take a look at a field that I have, and that's how they tend to do worse with Eastern Europe. This time, not so much. 7 points from Bulgaria. Azerbaijan gave them 4 points. 1 point from Belgium. Albania gave them 8. So yeah, 2 points from Czechia. I mean, they do arguably a little bit worse with Eastern Europe, but not worse enough to the point where we can simply say that they were tanked. So 123 from the televote, because last year, I don't really know if it's actually 100% true. If they gained 123 last year, they could have won. But anyway, I'm not really as disappointed with the Israeli result as I was last year. Because like that, 1, I was prepared, and 2, they gained far fewer points this year compared to last year. I think they got like 295 this year, but they gained 220 this year. So yeah, there was simply other choices that the public had. Romania and Bulgaria, which exceeded their results. Anyway, so yeah, Israel gained 12 points from Switzerland, 12 points from Azerbaijan, 12 points from Germany, 20 points from Portugal, 12 points from France. So yeah, they gained like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now that is actually far fewer 12s than what you might expect, which I very much appreciate. Anyway, so the winner Bulgaria gained 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12. So yeah, I think it was like 18 countries that gained 12 points this year, which I very much appreciate. Seriously, when there's a big spread of points, that is when the voting is at its absolute best. And yeah, that is very much what I enjoy. But anyway, rest in peace to the United Kingdom. I like that song. I very much like Look Man No Computer. I thought the song was fun. He did exactly what I wanted him to, and that was like do a crowd control. She basically made them scream Ein, zwei, drei, and it was like exactly what I wanted. Now I do admit that the desks were kind of flat, and that is going to sadly be a recurring theme. The UK doesn't really do memorable staging. Sam Ryder, he carried the entire performance all by himself. May Muller, not so much. She got 5 points from televote. Ollie Alexander, 0 points. Remember Monday, 0 points. Look on no computer, 0 points. Now I will say this, give credit to Sam because he wasn't really shown to be disappointed, like he wasn't really shown to be like pissed off. And I do really feel like James Newman kind of started something like that, where they didn't really show like frustration as well as like mad at the results. So congratulations. Anyway, 0 points was to the UK, Belgium and Germany. Belgium did better than I expected, but you know, they weren't doing well. 36 points with 21 at 21st place. So anyway, like I said, Poland did 133 points from the juries, 8 points from the, no wait, not 8 points, 17 points from the public, really big disappointment. So anyway, I will be ending this video by saying that's really big disappointment and sadness to Czechia as well as Malta. Malta gained 8 points from the public and Czechia gained 9 points. And then we see like this, Czechia 104 from the juries and Malta 81. So yeah, the headlines this. It was also a big disappointment for Greece, Färjestad. 147 from the public, 73 from the juries. That is like not what I expected. Romania 232 from the televote, 64 from 232 from the public, 64 from the jury. Third place overall 296. So yeah, like I said, I'm not that disappointed with the Israeli result this year. Yes, I'm disappointed because they don't deserve that many points. But they had lesser points this year. And yeah, 220 from the public, 123. Second place again with 243. But 516 points for Bulgaria. Just meant that they were able to win. And it's always nice and fun with a first time winner. And yeah, that is like a big gooper idea. I love it. I love when that happens. Again, the fact that it was not a winner in the odds beforehand just really enhances the factor that, you know, to the point where it's really funny. Anyway, so Finland 138 points from the televoting, 141 from the jury. They did a little bit better with the jury, which was quite the opposite, which was the polar opposite with Cha Cha Cha. Now, like I said, it's not really as disappointing. I mean, it's really big to get 279 points overall. It's 6th place for Finland. But you know, Finland is overhyped every year, in my opinion. I have been thinking about that for several years at this point. Erika Wickman didn't do it. Wins 95 didn't do it. I'm going to say to everybody that's watching this, can we simply stop saying that Finland is gonna win this year? They haven't been able to win several years in a row, and I don't really say that we shouldn't care about Finland, but I would say that we have to lower expectations. Let's say this: they're doing really well for themselves. We should be really happy for them. They really want to win, but you know, they haven't done well enough. If they genuinely want to actually do well and actually win, they have to basically stop like be so minimalistic on stage and actually go all in. I mean, Cha 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 did everything right to actually win the televote. They were amazing that year, but this year they weren't good on stage. But you know, Linda Lampenius' violin performance as well as her big distance away from Peter probably didn't help. As well as Peter, he should have just been on stage with Linda, had a microphone, actually had like making sure that the crowd loved them. That was more of a TV performance than a live performance. Now, the violin was a great way of the violin was a great way of showing how excellent she was, and she did show it. So anyway, my surprise result this year was Switzerland. Like I said, qualified with both the jurors and the televote, but didn't qualify overall. That is like the biggest shock this year. So anyway, yeah, and also big disappointment, so as sadness to Latvia. They were a talking point to qualify earlier this season, but you know, it didn't really work well for them. Azerbaijan, I mean, what the fuck has happened to you? What do you have to do to understand that? Stop sending mediocre, boring ballots. I appreciate the fact that you stopped cheating, but please, for the love of God, don't. Now, what I think is going to happen with the show next year, I mean, I think there will be excitement for traveling to Bulgaria to watch to be at the contest. How many is going to continue to watch and stay? Well, I cannot really be for certain, but I do think that the Netherlands and Iceland will return, since the Netherlands broadcast the contest and had guest commentators. Iceland broadcast the shows in the grand final. I do think they're back next year as well. So anyway, so I was simply I'll say this. My biggest shock was Switzerland qualifying with both the Jersey and the Talbot, but didn't have enough in either to qualify, like Croatia 2021. And then really all credit and fun and love to Bulgaria. And I would say this, they actually won the jury vote, but took 5th place in the semi-final. So yeah, really big group, really big surprise. And 213 points from the public, that's great. Israel, I knew they would be getting a lot of points, but far fewer this year, like 70 less. And yeah, I appreciate that. So yeah, that's everything for me. What are your opinions on this result? And I will be seeing you next time. Bye bye.